Hey folks, so we've got a round four. So we weren't allowed to do round three because we had an underage person in it, and essentially we weren't sure what the consent rules and so on were. We now know for future reference, so we don't need to see that. But we've got Cian against Cristian. So Cian's playing Branded Predaplant, which is a very popular deck on this channel, and also Cristian is playing Spright, good old Spright, So we've changed up the format a bit as well since the last video because figured out a way to make it rotate without it looking really gaudy or horrible. So hopefully this is a lot neater of a way to do it. So he's got Pot of Prosperity for 3. So he's got Imperm, Crow, and Ash. Thinking about what to add. So Banish 3 is good. Let's see what we got. He's thinking of what to get. So he's getting the Ash Blossom, which I think is a good call since Cian's usually been playing Branded Predaplant for a while, so why not? Graveyard in the back, I guess. Depends on where placement is. Not the official best way to put it. Primarily because you need to be able to see your opponent's graveyard and so on. You don't want to be reaching over, but for locals, we kind of take that a bit loose sometimes. So this is still with Ronin Totem Legal, so he goes Special Pixies. Make gigantic effect. Gets Ash Blossomed and no. So they're talking about basically the way Gigantic Spright works. So Gigantic Spright works as it attaches for effect rather than for cost. So basically, just needed to make sure that Cristian was aware of that. He's not been playing this deck too long, I don't think, but it's one of those things. So they're just talking about that for a bit. I have this at double speed at the moment. You can't hear what they're saying, I hope. Jesus, did I fix that? Let's see. But yeah, so yeah, grand. So you can definitely 100% Ash Blossom Gigantic Spright, just so you know. It's like Redoer, basically, is what they're saying, which is true. Redoer detaches for effect. So that actually, he goes set 2 pass with that. Usually that's pretty much enough, to be honest. Normal summon a Luber, Deduber. Imperm on the Luber, which is good. Probably enough. Battle phase, swing over Gigantic Spright. Gamma Burst. It gains 1400, so it's actually enough to get over it. So Cian's got his little notepad for marking scores. You kind of need it usually when you're playing Masquerade and stuff. So set 2 and pass. So he's going to go Gigantic Effect. He's going Branded Banishment. Target a Luber, the Juber. Yep. So he's chaining Branded Banishment to Gigantic Spright. So it needs to detach for the effect, so it won't get... Yeah, so he's going to fuse with both of them. It gets banished, dude. So it gets banished for Masquerade. And yeah, now he's put on his thing of life point stuff. So he banishes Swap Frog. Special Ronin, that's pay 600. So that's 600 down. Then we got... I check in the extra deck. Pixies, reading Pixies just to double check on stuff. So Gamma Burst is only for the monster that is affected by it. I think he might need to scoop it up because I don't think he's got much left in hand. Normal summon Ash Blossom. Link 2, make Elf. Easy. Makes Elf effect target Pixies. Oh yeah, then he gets to swing over Masquerade. Battle phase, swing with Elf, Pixies effect. So he's paying a shit ton of life points to do all that stuff. I think he's paid like maybe 18 or 1800, 2400 maybe, just to get rid of that Masquerade. That's quite good. Yeah, so draw for turn, so we're on turn 2. It's a bit breaky of a game. Game 1, kind of. I think game 2 is similar enough as well. So, Masquerade effect. Elf special pixies. Oh yeah, so it's only during main phase. He's doing this during... So Masquerade's not during main phase, so he's not in main phase yet. Yeah. So he's gonna go battle phase special. Swing over pixies. He's got Masquerade back on the field. This time he doesn't take 200. This time he doesn't take 600 every time. Which is fair enough. Elf effect. Bring back pixies. Second attempt at getting rid of Masquerade, I guess. Battle. Swing. Effect pixies. To get rid of him again. For the second time. It takes 1400 the second time. It's a very low impact game. It doesn't want to overcommit too much. Make it gigantic again. You can make it 3-2 gigantic if you wanted to, and then special something else. Branded Fusion, he kept the Ash Blossom. He had a second Ash Blossom, so that shows he's got so 2 Ash Blossoms for the second Branded Fusion. They're both sitting on like very low number of resources, but Elf is he's one monster ahead with Elf, and then Elf effect in main phase has to be main phase. Main phase, bring back pixies. Second for the third time. Battle, swing. So he's on 4k. So he can make gigantic, which is 3-2. If all he needs to do is just make gigantic, to be honest. And then if he has starter, he's sorted, obviously. So special is blue. I wouldn't even go blue effect, to be honest, at this stage. If he had 4k attack, I'd maybe just attack. Depends what you're trying to insulate yourself from, what you're afraid of, basically, right? Because he doesn't have any he doesn't have any Despias in grave, so not really afraid of that. So all you're really afraid of is, an Ibiru, basically, right? So he goes for Carrot, which is actually not a bad idea, to be honest. So he goes Carrot, swing, all job done. Yeah, game 2. So let's skip through the siding stuff. So boom. Okay, wow, we went quick there. Okay, about to start into the game after they've done this little shuffle stuff. So, it's pretty quick, but yeah. So both players in this instance are XO at this stage. So, because this is table 1, so. Table 1 round 4, and yep. So, okay, so Cristian's going to go first. Or no, second. Sorry, no, second. So he goes Order Scorpio. Set. He gets impermed. Set 2. Does an Albaz and Grave. So his any Branded Banishment or anything else like that is live. So is Branded Red. Cristian just passes on an empty board. Normal summons Climate Sunju. That lets you fusion summon. So, in case you're not aware, if you've not seen the 2 profiles that Cian has done on this channel already, then it's just one thing to be aware of. Is essentially that, yeah. So, he's going to effective fusion. He's going to fuse for Amulomades. So he goes effective search. He's just going to imperm Amulomades again. Passing again, keeps it on the field. Normal jet. Amulomades' defense is bigger, I think, than a jet. Special is blue. Okay. So he's gonna go blue effect. Blue add jet. Special jet effect add spell. Imperm on the jet. Interesting kind of choice. I was afraid of probably Gamma Burst or something else like that, because Gamma Burst at this stage would actually be enough to get in a significant amount of damage, to be fair. So gigantic. Think of it. So he goes calling Xyz. So no gigantic effect. It's quite good. At this stage, though, you've got enough to make Elf, so you can go Elf effect, special back. Which isn't bad, to be honest. I'd probably do that at that stage, I think. Depending on what you're doing. Depending on what the rest of your hand is. The ability to recur resources continuously with Elf is quite good, so The only thing is it puts you back on one monster, which is very annoying. So you got to think about it that way as well. Okay, a lot of graveyard checking, extra deck checking. He's already committed to making a Link 2, so I mean, we're kind of sitting here waiting a bit. Let's speed up. Yeah, so he's going for Dark Effect. He's specially committed Sundew because it's a level 2. Interesting. I don't really understand that play so far. I would say it's pretty just easier to just go safer into Elf, but yeah. So you went for committed Sundew. Now he's just Link 2 again, or Link 3 maybe. Link 3 for Unicorn. Ah, okay. Link 3 for Unicorn. Unicorn effect. Spin. Ambulomades. You do not get Dark Effect. Set 1. He's just going to nib him. So he's nibbing him at end domain. Token is 22 in attack mode. So he got nibbed. So he goes Talon Straw 2, which I think is interesting. Gives an indication of how his hand is set up at the moment. Battle phase, swing over the token for 800 damage. Token's at 2/2. Draw for turn, normal summon swap effects, and Ronin more than likely. Swap send Ronin. He's got a back row. I think it's actually at this point where there's maybe a bit of a misplay. So just to be aware of it, I think I remember from watching this before. So because I've already pre-watched this and attempted to record it, and then my hard drive ran out of space, so I couldn't keep recording it. Which reminds me, actually, this might not happen. This might happen again. Which would be very unfortunate. We're watching it in double speed, so he's going Branded Opening. Branded Opening send. Makes a Luber effect, I'm assuming. It's like a lot of time being spent, but luckily this one doesn't. Activate Brand Fusion. The Brand Fusion is search, or it's just summoning Albion to make sure he's committing to his play. Albion and Romarian more than likely. Yeah, Albion Romarian effect. Yeah, Chainlink to Romarian. He's got Ambulomades Engrave, so he's going to use that. So he's going to banish Albion and banish. So Romarian sends Biblisp, and then Albion banishes Albaz. Oh no, he's not banishing Albaz. He's banishing Aluber and Dragospellia to make Masquerade, and then Biblisp effect. So I think he wants to swing through a lot of damage, more than likely. That's probably the aim at this stage, because you could basically put him on really low life points, and then just make him burn himself. So probably the best approach at this point in time. Normal summon committed Sundew. We use opening to summon Aluber. Battle phase. Attack for 2k over Slopfrog. Super Poly, interesting. Pays 600 for Super Poly. His target must be 2 darks, more than likely. Oh, 3 of them. Yeah. So what was his 3? Because I was like, what's the 3? There's a good chance he actually doesn't have a target. Okay, for Starving Venom, okay, he does have a target. So Starving Venom, pretty good boy, pretty big boy. He can go effect, gain attack. So they actually both play Starving Venom, I believe, at this stage. So crash into Starving Venom, get Albion and Grave, take a bunch of damage, and then end phase that'll be on effect. Setting or adding, maybe add or set. I don't know which you'll do. Kind of interesting to pick which you would do at this stage. He's going to add Branded Red, setting Branded Red. Sorry. So Branded Red set. His graveyard's all full up. He's got a monster in the field, so he can easily make go Guardian Chimera. So Ronin, banish, swap. That's first stat effect on main phase. Link 2 for Elf. Elf special blue. Blue effect. Oh, this is the round with the misplay. Effects add jet effect. Add Gamma Burst. So he obviously wants to swing over. So he's playing Gamma Burst and Smashers in this, by the way. Just so you're aware. So he's Link 2 for Gigantic. So he goes Brandon Red. He goes Albaz and Grave. He gets to banish to fuse. So he's definitely got a plant in hand as well. And he's chaining Masquerade to summon as well. Yeah, so Masquerade's a quick effect. So he's actually banishing the Masquerade and the Fallen of Albaz to special summon Manure Jade. No, it's still, yeah, so now he has to resolve Gigantic because he declared Gigantic effect. But basically, Cian did a really clean play there, which was he used Branded Red and then chain Masquerade to bring Masquerade on the field, and then get to use his material because the way Masquerade works. Yeah, so it's merge it sense for cost to banish effect. So he's banishing Gigantic Spright. Yeah, so Mirror Jade doesn't target, so he's just thinking about what he's going to do. Okay, there's a bit of thinking going on here. So we'll see what the outcome is, because I'm assuming we get to game 3 based on the timing. So he's going Super Poly. Okay. So for Jet and Mirror Jade. So Mirror Jade still resolve. Mirror Jade will still resolve, and in fact it's gonna nuke the board in the end phase as well. So he's going for Garura. So he has to go for Mud Dragon. So he can't go Garura. He has to go for Mud Dragon. Mud Dragon or Starving Venom. It doesn't target it. So yeah, I think Cristian is somewhat new with the deck, and basically there's a few different. Well, it's less so that you're new with the deck. It's more so that you're maybe not as familiar with the Branded Predaplant stuff as you might expect, or as you might need to be, because Mirror Jade doesn't target, so Mud Dragon prevents targeting if you declare Dark. Yeah. Yeah, so they're going game 3. So, yeah, I don't think there's a way for Cristian to get out of that, to be honest. Okay. So, here we go. Okay, we're into game 1. So, it's a turn 1 that's the misplay. Okay, so here's the problem. So, go normal Pixies, special jet effect, add starter. Okay. Add starter. Activate starter. Take 1100 blue effect. So now he's locked into level Link or rank 2s, okay? because starter has been activated. So this is very important to be aware of. If you activate Spright starter in the turn, you need to be aware of the fact that you're locked into level link or rank 2s. And so, because it comes up in this turn as a sort of misplay or something that was missed during the course of the turn that prevented certain actions that will take place. So he goes for red. He adds red. Specials red. Okay, so now we go into Pixies plus, or so Jet plus blue into Gigantic. Gigantic Imperm. Red does not negate Imperm. Big sad. Big old Sag. Set 2. Thinking about Link 2. Link's 2s with Pixie and Gigantic. Elf effect. Elf bring back special Pixies. Okay. Oh, pass. Okay, it wasn't this turn. Never mind. I'm completely misremembering. Oh my god. So nothing out of place was done here. So Dark Ruler on Jet and Pixies and Red. The only thing you need to contend with really is you can't chain to Dark Ruler. Well, you can't. It actually doesn't resolve at all. You can chain to. So, okay, that's actually. So, let's pause back, right? So, first thing, Dark Ruler no more cannot be responded to by monster effects, okay? So, what you need to do is he would need to chain one of his back row before he could actually activate Spright Elf, okay? And that's not what happened. But I don't think. I think Cian maybe misunderstood how the card works, which is fair enough. But, I don't think he really gave a shit, to be honest, because basically, I mean, whatever he's going to summon, it's going to be negated anyway, right? So, but I think with Cristian's back row, he's thinking about Super Poly, I think. So he goes Branded Fusion, which is fine. So he goes Branded Fusion, send Albaz, send Romarin, I think. Oh no, send Tragedy this time, so he's going for Libellion. Libellion effect, and Tragedy effect. Chaining 1 Libellion, chaining 2 Tragedy. Sends Limita Sunju, and he's going to chain Brandon Red, target Albaz. So, in order to do this, so this is actually quite cool. So the whole lot that happens there is he gets to summon Mirror Jade using the Libellion and the Albaz with the Brandon Red, and then he still gets to fuse with the Libellion and the Albaz by returning them, I think. So he's going to return them to make Dragosphelia, that's really sweet, especially against this board. And then normal summon maneuver, like crazy good, you know. Obviously they're all dark, so you're really susceptible to Super Poly at this stage. But yeah, branded opening. Adds opening, so you can either indicate that he already has another thingamabob or whatever. So he's just attacking Elf. So Gamma Burst. 28, yeah. So it's at 1400, so it loses. You don't take any damage because of Dark Ruler. So that Gamma Burst is completely wasted. Red, yeah, over red. Aluver over Pixies, leaving him with a blue. Because you don't really want a blue coming. Like, you want to make sure that he has to make Elf. Because you don't want to put blue engrave because then he gets the special summon. And in end phase, he's going Super Poly to make Masquerade. So he goes GG. His back row was. His other back row was Cosmic Cyclone, I think. So very unfortunate. Oh, I see. So it was. I think we're getting to time because we're at the 40-minute mark. So basically, with the Masquerade on board, he basically cinched winning. And there's no point in calling it a tie or whatever, you know, because regardless of any effect that he's going to activate, he's going to get killed for it. So it's the more admirable thing to do, especially if you're local. So it's fair enough. I think I misunderstood. I thought there was a misplay at some point in this one. I think the one misplay was that Gigantic's effect was declared but never used at one point. So that was the only thing, but like that's fine. There was another point, just to be one thing to be aware of very much is when you activate a starter, you have to remember that you're under level link in rank 2. That's all. So is your opponents under them as well with Gigantic. So basically, I think the game plan usually for Spright is to ensure that Gigantic Spright gets off. If the effect goes off, then you're safe from Nibiru, at which point you can then start to consider using your Spright Red, unless you're afraid of something like Ghost Ogre, or maybe Veiler or whatever, but who cares? Veiler's not really that impactful that much at the moment, but that is round 4, so we skipped round 3 because of reasons, but yeah, that's round 4, and then round 5 will be actually Cian again. So we shall see more of Branded Predaplant, and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, cheers, folks.